Welcome, everyone, to the Idiot Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the podcast.
That was really good. That was so good. Say hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Say what's new today.
What's new today?
What are you guys doing today?
What are you guys doing today?
And how was your day at school?
How's your day?
No, how was your day?
It was good.
What'd you do at school?
Played
Who'd you play with?
with Jackie
Yeah.
and Emma.
So do you like school?
Yeah,
How come you like it?
because I love it.
Why do you like it?
Because I love it with my heart.
You love it with your whole heart?
Yeah.
Wait, can you tell me a joke?
What?
Tell me a joke.
What does a cow do for fun?
What?
Goes to the movies.
To the movies.
To the movies.
That's a good one. Okay, guys, so some exciting news today. We've got part 2 of Toren Wolf and his mom, Serenity Christine. They're talking about all things autism, what it's like growing up autistic. Toren was diagnosed when he was 2, just like Alfie, and they really get vulnerable and candid and talk about everything you could possibly want to know. So, yes, thanks so much of you. So much of you had so many amazing things to say on last week's part 1, and part 2 is awesome, and Alfie is featured in it too. So you definitely don't want to miss that. Okay, so I announced last week that I'm starting a book club on my Patreon. I'm so excited. Every single month, we're going to be reading and discussing a new book. I'm so excited. I told you guys my mom's been doing her book club for over 40 years, or actually nearly 40 years, and she swears by it. And look, even if some months you miss the book, who cares? It's really about the community and connecting and just getting together every week and chatting. And I'm just so excited to start this community. Okay, so I want to announce the first book. We're starting this the month of July. It's called A Clean Mess by Tiffany Jenkins. I'm so excited about this book. This is her second memoir. Her first memoir was called High Achiever. So good. But Tiffany and I actually have so much in common. She's a massive Facebook creator. She's such a brilliant writer, you guys. She's so good. You'll be laughing and crying. So I just want to read you a little bit of this memoir. So it says, after the opioid addiction and jail sentence that she chronicled in her first memoir, High Achiever, Tiffany Jenkins was ready for a fresh start, a chance to try life again, this time without drugs coursing through her veins. What she didn't expect was just how fast life would happen when she was out of prison. In just 2 years, she went from being an inmate to a sober, married mom of 3. And life, as it does, just kept happening. A few years later, her marriage collapsed, a crisis that forced her to reckon with the foundations of her mental health and sobriety. Oh my God. Same story, Tiffany. Told with dark humor and raw honesty, A Clean Mess is Tiffany's story of how she learned to live and feel for the first time without numbing herself with drugs, and how she discovered inner reserves of strengths she didn't know she had. From her tentative first days of sobriety, when all her worldly possessions fit into a trash bag, to seeing 2 pink lines on a pregnancy test just 2 weeks later, she met her then husband in rehab. So this is it. This is the first book. I'm so excited to dive into this. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I think I'm going to do the audio book because I go to sleep at 8 p.m. with my kids. And so I'm just going to pop in my AirPods and just listen to it probably 1 to 2 hours a night. A Clean Mess, first book, starting July 1st. We're going to be having weekly discussions, and then I interview Tiffany Jenkins, the author, at the end of the month. So excited. So if you want to join this book club, go to patreon.com/Laura Clary right here, patreon.com/Laura Clary. And I'll shut up now. Go enjoy part 2 of Toren Wolf and Serenity Christine. Part 2, in my opinion, is even more powerful, more emotional, and of course, Alfie cameos. So you got to stay through. Okay, love you guys. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already and leave your comments below. All right. Thank you. Okay, I wanted to get into a bit about school, your
All right.
school experiences.
All right.
So yeah, Toren, what were some of your biggest challenges you faced in school? Were there like accommodations that helped, or do you feel like the system wasn't built for you? Share your experience there.
Okay, so to summarize, it's going to open with a summary.
Cool.
We tried public schools at first, a regular public school. That was hell. Then we tried, what did we do next?
Hybrid homeschool.
Okay, yeah, so we did the...
Where you do like classes 3 days a week.
And that started at what age? Roughly.
It was pretty early on, like first grade.
Okay.
And then that was hell.
That was
And-
what?
Hell.
Hell.
And then we tried a homeschool group,
Yeah.
which was also hell. And then you could probably describe this part better than I could.
Online schooling.
Yeah, and that was
mostly started during the
hell.
pandemic. And and then, yeah.
I actually have a serious dislike of computer learning now. Learning anything from a computer just aggravates me.
Yeah,
now.
And I do take some responsibility for that because I had it in
you're trying your best. You're just doing what was suggested to you.
Well, that's very kind of you, but I
And
was trying to be rigid and be like, no, you have to learn. We have to try to keep you at your grade level. You have to do these assignments. And they were killing him. He was depressed, anxious. The insomnia was so bad. I was getting really, really worried. He would just stim and pace all night back and forth in his room. And I'd come in to see how he was doing. And he was just info dumping with trauma and fear and anxiety and stress. And so, we were talking to his doctor and letting him know how bad everything was going. And the doctor at one point was like, you have to give him a break. He's going to have a breakdown. Like, this isn't okay. And it won't kill him or you to take a break from school. Like, try 3 to 6 months, just give him a break. And then we can try something new. We'll try a different school. We'll try something else. So I was like, okay, we're done. No more online school. You just have freedom now. And I was certain it was going to be awful. And I was really scared and really worried I was doing the wrong thing. And he immediately blossomed and started studying on his own. I
love stuff about space.
Instantly showing me that he knows how to teach himself. And right, what do you always say about that?
And turns out I'm my own best teacher.
Yeah. And so, I was floored. He could barely write. His handwriting, and it still isn't great.
I still actually can. I use a notes app for writing.
Yes.
Nice,
But
so do I.
that immediately.
Handwriting is hard.
Yeah. That immediately improved. His comprehension, he was suddenly reading voraciously. He also has PDA. I'm sure you've heard us talk about that. So me trying to make him learn anything.
Because people are going to think you're talking about public display of affection.
Yeah, I really feel like
it's called pathological. It's called,
okay.
Just one letter, guys. That's all we need.
It's called pathological demand avoidance or persistent drive for autonomy. And it basically means that if someone is trying to tell you what to do, or even your own brain sometimes trying to tell you what to do, you just have this fight or flight response. It's not like being bratty, like, no, I'm not going to do that. It's a visceral, intrinsic response of just shut down, of nope, can't do, it's not happening, not going to do it. And that's how he responded to school consistently, was just nope, can't do it, shutting down, freaking out. So allowing him his own head, basically, okay, go ahead, you do you. He's proven to be extraordinarily interested in learning. He voraciously,
but on your own terms.
Yes. He devours. He studies, he researches, he's constantly info dumping to us about, space or science or the human body. That's how you heard him talking about birth. He studied childbirth and the human reproductive system and understood about it. And
that's part of why I was annoyed when she tried to do the talk. Because I already knew.
He kept telling me, I already know. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you had been studying it. He's like, I don't need the talk. I researched that on my own. I know all about it.
He's like, I'll give you the talk. I know more about this than you, mother.
And he honestly does. He schools me regularly with stuff he's learning. And it's made me realize how little I retained going to school. So when we
Wow.
regrouped with the doctor and we're like, okay, so it's, we got to the 6-month mark and I was like, I even did like some personal tests with him to see where he was at. He's way above grade level in most things. And the doctor was like, oh yeah, I see no reason to change this.
So what age was this?
He's in the home stretch anyway. We started at 15, right?
Yeah.
So it's been a couple of years.
If you could go back, would you start that process earlier?
Absolutely. I feel like I traumatized him with school you heard what he said. He never has anything good to say about school. It's always traumatic.
I don't think it's even good for neurotypicals, the school system.
I mean, I certainly hated it. I couldn't focus. I feel like I have that PDA thing. I pretty much failed. I didn't. I just barely graduated high school, but I hated it. But I knew I loved comedy and I was just obsessed with it. So I would be studying that and writing, scripts and plays and things like that. And I just knew that's what I was going to do. And I just didn't care about anything else. But I was like deemed a really bad kid, and was in trouble all the time, got into drugs, like just because I just wanted to numb out because it was so horrible. My son now, who's 5, I picked him up the other day. This whole week, I looked at him, I said, Alfie, because he was a little under the weather earlier this week. And I said, Alfie, I said, do you want to go to school? Yes or no? He goes, no, rest. And he was so adamant, like that he didn't want to go, Yeah, because I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Because he can't tell me. And I picked him up the other day and he was like, he scratched me and he was so angry and he was like head banging a little like on the way home. And I was just like, what happened? Like, but he can't tell me.
Yeah.
So you just want to do the right thing. I'm really sorry.
No, it's okay. I
Yeah.
completely understand. Your feelings are valid. And that makes a lot of sense. And your instincts are usually spot on.
Yeah. And I'm just like, something's wrong here. Maybe this is not for him. It's too long. 8:30 to 2:30 there. And I don't know. Even though he can't tell me, he is telling me,
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and your heart knows.
yeah. So it's good to know that there's other avenues and like what worked for you, especially.
The people we just visited, their little girl is 9 and has been expressing, that she doesn't want to go. She cries when it's time to go and her mom's getting all teary. And she said, because of you guys, I'm taking her out. I'm going to try homeschool because I don't want to keep doing this to her. She's miserable. And why would I do this and give her this experience?
Wow.
That, she's going to remember for the rest of her life as horrible. So,
wow.
And Toren was thrilled to hear that, right? We were really happy.
I loved the video you were talking about ableism. Can you share examples of ways you feel like people have treated you differently?
That's a bit of a tough question. This isn't even intentional, but my entire friend group, give or take a little bit of mentality, is neurodivergent. Most of my friends are neurodivergent, usually autistic or ADHD.
Yeah.
I don't actually talk to neurotypical kids my age that much, and when it's adults, I just don't usually talk to them.
Yeah.
Like, do I
How did you like meet other kids on the spectrum?
D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. As far as throughout my entire life, it's one of the best things for autistic and ADHD kids. It's fantastic.
Really?
Yeah.
Should I get into Dungeons and Dragons, or is that only for kids?
Oh no, my husband loves it.
Really?
He loves
He's been playing it since the 80s?
Yeah, and his best friend's dad is the one who runs one of his groups right now. He loves it also. So I know some women who love it too.
What do you love about it?
The creativity. It's not like a video game or a board game where you have constraints and rules. In D&D, the rules are guidelines. It's a foundational system for limitless creativity. It's fantastic. I love D&D.
Yeah, it's been a huge lifesaver for us because we've tried so many different groups and things to try to get him to be social and to make connections. And it's been really, really fun.
Interruption. Quick info dump.
Yes,
Oh,
info.
by all
Okay,
means.
so
Let's go.
my favorite D&D character I've ever made, just for pure comedy factor.
I love this.
They're named the Dwarf. They're actually a Goliath, which are normally 7 feet tall, with dwarfism. So they get confused for a dwarf a lot. They're 3 feet tall, 6 feet wide, and I abused the game mechanics as much as I could to make it so they could bench press 2,400 pounds.
How'd you do that?
D&D players will know how overpowered increasing your carrying capacity can be.
So he really puts his DM, who's the dungeon master, through his paces.
Through the
because
absolute ringer.
They sometimes, when I pick him up, his dungeon master will be like, Toren and his crazy character did this and this today, and I had to try to fit it into the story. I'm like, that's my boy.
Currently, I'm playing the magnificent wizard Mur the Mediocre. They're mediocre.
It's very cute. But
They're just mediocre.
Yes, they dress in fire snake skin leather, and everyone in the, or one person and then everyone else following their lead in the group says it must be the gayest character I've ever created. I agree, and it was completely unintentional.
Wow, that's so cool. So you've been friends with this group for a while now?
The kids of the guy who DMs our group, I've been friends with them for years, since I was like 10.
Yeah.
And they then introduced me to more people, and then we formed this group less than a year ago. What was it? Just a little after somewhere
Something like that.
last November?
Yeah,
It was last
something like
November.
that. But it's been a godsend because, like I said, we've tried so many other things, many different groups, and they, martial arts, fencing, different things like that. And they
I've
just
been
didn't
doing
work.
D&D since I was 11.
They just didn't work for him. Structured classes give him so much stress and anxiety.
I can't. Alfie!
Hi.
Alfie, hi.
Hello.
You know Toren? Did you meet Toren? Can you say hi, Toren? Can I have a hug, Alfie? What's up, buddy?
I don't think he's feeling too well. Does he know the cough or something?
Right now, Alfie's been boofing my nose about 30 times a day. He just boofs it. It's like a new thing.
Oh.
And what happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? Say hi, guys.
Toren used to say hello by running into everyone with his head.
Just like a freaking.
It didn't even stop that long ago.
It would have been a lot funnier if I had the top hat.
I think
back
the
then.
only reason it stopped is because he got too tall. So, and then people really didn't like it,
That's see this. This is the
new stem.
Can I boop your nose? Boop boop. Can I boop your nose, Mom? All right, fine. All day and night we're booping noses. Yeah,
I
Love that.
relate to
That's
that.
adorable.
Yeah.
he wakes
That's
me up with a boop. I go to bed with a boop. Boop. Hey.
Oh, precious.
Hello.
Mm,
Yeah. Mhm.
it's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. I'll see you in a minute. Yeah.
They're just so pure.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that way about you too. Just
Yeah.
they just are what they are, and they,
Happy with salted pasta under the pepper.
Painted at all the pasta. What do you see, Alfie? He will find anything anywhere. He's like a little MacGyver. I'll like hide the sweets. He finds them. I swear, I had to triple lock all the doors inside because he went through an eloping phase too.
Oh, him too.
Really?
Oh God, yes. I keep meaning to talk to you about making a video about that.
Really?
Let's see, what is that?
I don't know what that is.
Let me see what it is. Let me see.
Open it.
Tropical conch.
Open it. Open it.
Open it.
Open it. Open it.
Open it, please, Mom.
Open it, please, mommy. Open it. No, open.
You want to open it? Okay, so this is a hydration stick. I just want to make sure you get. It's an electrolyte drink mix. Do you think can young kids have electrolyte drink mixes, Carla? What do we think? Should we Google it?
I know Toren has, I know Toren has them.
You
Really?
want to try?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
probably like a Pedialyte, so it's
Right?
probably
Can
okay.
you grab me a cup? Can you grab me a cup? Alfie, ready? I'll open it. Come here. Carla, can you grab me a cup for me? Actually, look. No. Okay, ready, Alfie? Should we open it? Say, open it, please. Wow. Open it.
Oh, no, please, Mom.
Say, what is that?
What is that?
He's like, I'm curious.
I curious.
I'm curious too. Okay, ready, set. Ready, set. Pour it in. Whoa. Now I think we mix it with water. You want to try it, Alfie? Yes or no?
No? Yes?
Here.
He reminds me a lot of you when you were little.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's put the water in.
Wait. Mix it.
Ready, set.
Oh,
Can you pour it in?
wait.
You pour it in. Okay, good. Now mix it.
That's how you talked a lot like that when you were little, just echoing everything that
Really?
we would say. Like they'd say, give it to daddy, you'd say to daddy, stuff like that. You just repeat back whatever we had said. So
Or
Actually,
like-
kind
or
of neat seeing this or having this perspective. Yeah.
Really? I go, hi, Alfie. And he goes, hi, Alfie.
oh yeah, same thing. I would say happy birthday, Toren, and you'd say happy birthday, Toren, and stuff like that. Like I have that one video where I'm like, say hi to daddy, and you're like, hi to daddy.
This is Alfie, right, Carla? This is Alfie. That's so funny. Well, you posted a video of Toren when he was around Alfie's age. He was probably actually like 3, maybe in the video. You guys made a video about like what it was like, and you told me about what it, or told me about, you told the audience about like what it was like and having the meltdowns and all of it. But the videos you posted were exactly Alfie at that age. It was so cool to see because I don't get to see a lot of kids like that. And it was just like, wow, that's my son.
This too. Oh my
Wait,
God.
really?
Did you see the video we posted recently where he would I have all these videos I was taking him to show the doctor where he would climb up on everything high and leap off.
No.
Just off onto everything, onto the couch, onto the bed, just leaping and throwing himself
That's
into
Alfie.
things.
That's
Oh,
Alfie.
And I was like,
Oh,
what
that's
is he doing? Like, I mean, my other boy was rambunctious too, but this is different because he just does it for hours. Just up and down and up and down and up. And I was like always afraid he was going to hurt himself. And, but it's like, I guess it's like proprioceptive.
Wait, there's a name for that too?
Yeah, proprioceptive seeking or something. I'm probably getting it wrong, but it's about like feeling things more intensely. Like they need to throw themselves into things. They also, I love seeing what he was just doing. He would press his face into me. Like I didn't get the normal hugs and kisses, but he would like press his face on me or like rub me with his head and almost kind of painful sometimes, but that was his way of showing love.
Being headbutt by a toddler can hurt.
And then the headbutting. Oh my gosh, the headbutting.
Oh,
was
sorry.
not-
Is this
Oh, it's
yours?
okay. It's totally fine.
Are you
as
sure?
long as you're okay. I don't
hang
mind.
on.
I'm used to it. We have like 10.
Oh, careful.
That was
It's in
in
your
my
tea.
pocket.
I'm so sorry.
Oh.
I'm
Okay.
so used to it. It's okay.
Okay.
Chapstick.
That's
It feels good
chapstick
on your
out.
lips.
Mhm.
And we have like 10 because he's a little obsessed with them himself. So he has to have a lot of them.
Well, and also
chapstick.
because
Yes.
all chapstick in the world is cursed to vanish at the most inconvenient
Yes.
times to some pocket dimension only chapstick items know about.
Yes. And he has one of his biggest stims up until, is it around 6 months that you've had this under control or less?
Since October.
Okay. So
Here,
he-
can I
he
talk
was
about it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Please. do.
So since I don't even remember when I first started doing this. I'm just going to assume I was around 4.
Yeah, it's been a lifelong one. And
So
really
over a
bad.
decade, I would bite, I would chew, I would pick at the skin on my lips
Yeah, you can see it in
until
some of
they
his
didn't
videos.
have any texture anymore. They were just
And they got
smooth
bloody
and bloody
sometimes. It was so
and
frustrating.
covered in cuts. And this was until October, where right before one of our trips to LA, I decided to get this under control.
It was incredible.
Which was
I never
almost
thought he would be
impossible.
able to do something like this, because I was stunned.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I was always trying to talk to him about it, but sometimes it would upset him if I
Yeah, because it's
pointed
not
it
something
out.
I could control. It's
Of course.
addictive. It's almost impossible to stop.
Yeah. It's like the booping of the nose. Like this is
Yeah.
all day, all
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
It's new. It's a new one.
He would do the same, switch from thing to thing.
And I haven't bitten my lips at all since then. Occasionally I've slipped and like picked a bit, but I've almost got entirely under control.
That's so cool that you recognized that it was a problem.
My nose.
Yeah, boop my nose. Yeah.
And that's one of the, I mean, this is really new. He didn't do this. Is this the first time you've mastered something like this?
Yes.
Yeah.
At least on purpose.
And
Yeah.
what was it that made you realize, okay, this is causing me harm, but I want to do something about it?
Mama,
Um,
come here.
The
Mommy
fact
still-
that
mommy's
I
still working?
tended to be covered in blood on my face at least once a day.
Okay, that'll do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought like seeing, because he, had been doing the videos for like a year, and he saw sometimes he would have like bloody lips, and
Yeah.
we would try to like put chapstick on, but it was still visible. We even mentioned it in a few captions, like, I got some really bloody lips today. It's one of my stims. But it didn't, I don't think that really did anything for you. It just all of a sudden kicked in.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what, it was like a light switch.
I just
Wow.
And
randomly
at the
decided.
same, I'm sorry.
And this might sound cheesy, but here's the last moment I ever picked my lips. I tried a few times prior and failed. Apparently there's some studies, and it's like, let me know if I'm getting this right. Something you told me. It's a harder habit to break than heroin,
Yeah, I read that.
because it's an oral stim. It's something attached to your body at all times.
Like he was just constantly had his fingers almost biting them, just constantly.
And
Wow. How beautiful.
I
He
just,
did his nails at one point.
a lot of
too.
the time when I try to do something with myself mentally, I anthropomorphize, I personify.
Which is very common in autism.
Wow.
So I created a shadow. I created a problem. I gave it a form, and I told it that it had lost. And then it did.
I love that.
And I honestly have no goddamn idea why that worked, but it did.
Well, it's fantastic, Toren. I'm so proud of you.
And for anyone trying to get over this habit, if you've been doing this for years like I have, these scabs will keep coming back for months afterward. They still form. I still get scabs on my lips, even though the skin has technically healed.
Yeah.
And the scabs won't really go away on their own. So you've probably already found this if you have this habit, but you need to get a towel, warm water, warmify the towel with the warm water. What is it? We use castor oil.
We use castor oil, and it's best to do after you've gotten out of the shower. So there's
So
like
you
warm
take
and
the
wet.
towel, you put castor oil on the towel, and you very, very carefully rub the scabs off. Like if you're feeling any kind of twinge or tingling, or even any kind of abrasion from the towel, you're going too hard and just damaging the lips again. You've got to do the very gentlest possible rub of the castor oil.
And I mean the self-mastery that's required, because there'll still be like little pokey pieces of skin,
Yeah.
and he wants to pull them. And I mean, I was blown away. I don't even know that-
Chapstick also helps. That's
I don't
why
even know
have
that
20
I
of them.
would have been able to have that kind of self-discipline. So.
Yeah.
And at the same time, he also stopped his first meltdown on his own, which
Well,
was
that was only like 2 months
astonishing.
ago.
Yeah. And that it's only happened once, but it was huge. He normally cannot stop them when
How
they
did you do
start.
that?
Discipline, I guess. I know it's a term I don't like to throw around, but it really was just mental discipline and experience of meltdowns upon meltdowns. And it was partially because you were there and you're able to like stop yourself from triggering it any further. And then I was just able to stop. I
watched
don't know how to
him,
describe
he
it.
put his fingers here and just was breathing,
Yeah.
taking deep breaths, and you know, and I did just disengage, and
Right.
it was
So
great,
then I was able to resume the conversation we'd been having.
which was astonishing.
Wow.
And I was like stunned. I was like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah,
what
that's
just happened?
That's absolutely amazing. Okay, you guys have been so amazing. I wanted to do like a few just questions from the audience.
Okay, question.
And
from
then
the
I thought we
audience.
could eat a little peanut butter and honey.
Oh,
Do you happen
those-
to like that?
And you mentioned a strawberry.
Girl, I thought it would be funny. I didn't know if it was your first time in LA, but there is this place. Have you heard of Erewhon?
A little bit.
It's so stupid.
So I
It's like-
just saw a video of the person trying the $19 strawberry.
So I thought we'd get $19 strawberries. Just
I have no idea what you're talking about, so I'm going into this blind.
literally, you guys, it's this grocery store with the most ridiculously overpriced, like it's a joke. I never shop there, but I just thought it would be funny. They're selling strawberries, individual strawberries for $19 each.
Is there anything special about them?
We're about to find out because I bought 3 of them.
Ooh.
All right.
I bought 3 of them.
Ooh.
All
I
right.
get to try 2?
Yeah, you get
I'm
to
so excited.
you get to try a $19 strawberry.
I can't believe
You
it.
guys, this strawberry better blow our minds, okay? And our taste buds.
And he's tried strawberries twice and didn't like them either
I
time.
used to
So
like strawberries.
wait,
so this
Toren,
would be-
maybe you just need $19 strawberries.
maybe that's what's missing. So this would be very exciting.
I mean, I just thought it was like the dumbest LA thing that we could do.
Oh, Patrick's.
So I say we do that, and then we can just answer a
Almighty
few
Patrick.
questions from like fans of yours
Okay.
that had
Alright.
questions. Yeah. So okay.
Oh my goodness.
Great.
Alright.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
That does
goodness.
look like a
That
high
is the
quality
most
strawberry.
ridiculous. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Oh
What
my
is
goodness.
going on? So let me. Where we get
I
the.
just want to say,
There is a QR code that says instructions. Apparently, it's yeah.
There's instructions.
Yes, it's
Wait, can someone Google the instructions?
I'll do it.
So.
it's not a joke when people say our brain chemistry works differently.
Uh-huh.
Like, I tried a cup of coffee once for a video, and it made me sleepy.
Oh yeah, ADHD. Coffee doesn't work on us. the
It
same
does
way.
the opposite thing.
Yeah,
it
I
does
can
for
drink
most
a cup
people.
of coffee and go to bed, and I don't understand, or I'll just get jittery. I don't get.
There-
My husband drinks it and he wakes up.
It
He
works.
feels alert, but I drink it and I get jittery and anxious. So.
Sometimes it works the same for anesthetics. There's this one person I knew at Cats.
So it's
at the cat shelter, at the adoption place. I keep forgetting what it's called.
where he volunteers.
Yeah. Ooh, fascinating. And
So it's
they
No, I'm very sorry.
They have a bunch of different forms of neurodivergence, and a doctor prescribed them a certain type of anesthetic, to put them to sleep for a surgery, and they got wired as if they had done crack or something.
rinse gently before eating, pat dry and remove stem. Leave at room temperature for 30 minutes before eating? Well, we're not going to do that.
So votes for following the incredibly arbitrary instructions, raise your hands. Votes for eat the damn thing now.
Raise your hands.
I agree.
Are we doing this?
Are we doing
Oh,
it?
we're
Is
doing
this
this.
happening?
All right.
We're doing
Okay.
this
All at the same time
at
or
the
one
same
at a
time. Wait, should we
Okay.
do all at the same time?
Sure.
Okay.
Should we do the 3, 2, 1?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
3, 2, 1 bite.
Sure.
Okay.
3,
3,
2,
2.
1.
I mean, it's a good strawberry.
It's a good strawberry.
very good strawberry.
I'm not convinced it's a $19 strawberry.
I would never pay $19 for this
Yeah.
other than right now.
I feel like I've gotten strawberries this good at the farmer's market.
Seriously. But Toren, you're saying it's a really good strawberry?
And you normally don't like strawberries, so that is. You like this?
Mhm.
Okay, wow.
Very
Wait.
good, very watery.
Oh my God.
It is definitely very good. Wow.
Wow. Konnichiwa. Suddenly I can speak Japanese. I see why it's $19. It's giving me special powers. Imagine we all just had superpowers.
Just launched out of our seats.
Toren just starts flying. I'm speaking fluent Japanese.
Levitating.
I don't know. What would your superpower be?
Laser eyes.
Wait. I mean, it's a good strawberry.
It is.
It's not a $19 strawberry, though.
Yeah, it's it's just a good strawberry.
It's a very good strawberry.
It's a 2 thumbs up strawberry.
It's a definite 2 thumbs up strawberry. It's like tart and sour, juicy.
Yeah.
The skin isn't much of a problem like it is with lower quality strawberries.
Yeah. And that's been the problem with, I think, some of the ones we gave you where they were just very flavorless.
The soft skin. This is a soft skin. Okay, now we've got a few different honeys. Now this honey, Toren, how do you feel about this honey? This honey.
Now this is something I'm good at.
This honey is, look at it, it's kind of
Cool
hard.
brass
What's
spin.
going on with this? Like, feel it. Does that trip you out that it's kind of hard in the texture?
If I'm going to be
Let's talk about
working with
this.
honey, need to take the jacket off.
You got to take the jacket off for the honey.
Wow, that is remarkable looking peanut butter.
Now that,
Ah, it's peanut butter? I thought that was another honey.
No, that looks fancy.
and not only that, we got peanut butter with dark chocolate. Do you like chocolate?
Yeah, to a reasonable degree.
All right, what should we try
What is
first?
this? Trainer Joe's organic honey product of Brazil. This is intensely crystallized.
Now feel this texture. Feel this texture, honey.
Olmo honey. Haven't heard of that one.
Ooh, me neither.
Now this is also from the $19 strawberry store. Okay.
Oh,
So-
fancy.
So honey's already expensive. How much did this cost?
I think it was $40. You guys, you're my special guests, okay? I wanted to get you the best honey in the world.
I'm truly honored, but wow.
Holy cow.
I know. I don't know who these people are. I think like the only people that
Wow,
shop at
that's
Erewhon are
strong.
like literal celebrities. Like you just walk down the aisle and you're like, "Hey, George Clooney," and like, hi, Justin Bieber."
I can't remember
feel
her name,
like-
but the friend you often do videos with, the brunette.
she does.
She
yes.
just did a skit
Yes.
with this with her. Is it her husband? that she
no,
was
just a
with?
friend.
Oh, just a friend, and they're
Yes.
going through holding
Yeah.
stuff, and it was really funny.
And you're like $200 for a toothpick. I'll
Gotta
take
have
it.
Gotta have it.
Yeah, I gotta have it.
That was really good.
Oh my gosh, so good. So okay,
That's a very strong smell. Smell this.
okay. So maybe we start with that.
Holy cow!
It
that
almost
crazy?
almost
I'm
smells
scared.
like manuka.
Yeah. Maybe. Well, what I was getting is it almost smells a little fermented. Like there's the tiniest hints of alcohol there, but I know that can't be right. There's
Wait,
no
are
way
we
this
gonna
is.
get drunk?
There's no way this
This
is fermented. They don't. I don't think they do
It
that.
reminds
with honey.
me of. It really reminds me of manuka.
Really? Maybe I need to smell manuka again.
Okay, let's do it. So what do you do? Tell me what you do. How do you do your honey?
All right.
You just, what do you do?
And
All right.
which peanut butter do you want? Do you
Okay.
want that one or this one?
Let's just use a standard.
This
peanut
one
butter.
looks fancy.
No, that's the fancy one. So we got
And it's just
fancy
a
one
little
and
more goopy.
we got normal one. We
Oh.
got normally good honey, or I mean peanut butter, and then
Okay.
we got the stupid Erewhon one.
Okay.
I'm gonna try.
I'm sorry, but there is one small problem.
Okay,
What's the
what?
problem?
I have been doing this for years and have not yet found a way to do peanut butter and honey in a bowl if the peanut butter hasn't been put in the fridge for a while.
Oh dear.
Why? Because why is this too goopy?
Because it melts.
No, so what happens is you put the peanut butter in the bowl, it forms the first layer, no problem. You put the honey on, and it seems like everything's all right. Then you look back at it 30 seconds later after not paying attention, and you realize that the honey is now at the bottom of the bowl with the peanut butter on top.
Well,
It
would it
swaps
be okay to make
places.
an exception this one time?
Yes, yes. I was going to anyway.
Okay, so we're starting with
This.
this. Okay, we're gonna rate this. Let's rate this. We're gonna rate the peanut butter
All right.
first. This is good old fashioned Trader Joe's. What is it called?
Creamy peanut butter, no
Creamy
salt.
peanut butter.
No salt.
No,
I'm so glad. Thank you so much for not getting like Jif.
Because that has like cane sugar.
It's and he eats so much. I have to get the really really good stuff. We actually
Okay.
just fresh grind his so that he gets fresh ground
I got
peanuts
a peanut butter grinder for Christmas.
and raw honey. like straight from the hive. So that way
Okay.
I know, because I mean, it's
Very
ridiculous how much he eats.
carefully.
We've even asked the doctor because I'm like, is it okay? He's eating so much peanut butter. And he's like, it's all right. He's fine. At least he's
It's-
getting calories.
Yeah, it's calories, it's protein.
Yeah.
There's like a whole thing about like have you heard of the mono diet?
no, what's that
You
one?
should look it up. I mean, I am not a nutritionist, clearly, but there's, I don't know, I just heard about it where you just eat one food all the time, and apparently there's a lot of benefits to it. But again, don't quote me on
No,
that.
I'm
Just look up mono diet.
I'm
'cause
actually
not-
really curious about that because of the amount of one thing this
Yeah.
young man eats.
yeah.
So which honey are you gonna?
Okay, you tried
Okay.
this one, and then you put honey on top.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry for using half of
I
your
don't
peanut
care.
butter.
I don't care.
Oh,
Okay.
he does use a lot.
Okay, now
Okay.
An absurd
this is
amount.
crystallized, so
Right
that might
now.
actually work better with melt. Now, liquid.
Yeah, this one's like hard. I don't know about this one.
Wow.
What's going on there?
I
Why is
wanna
that so
see.
hard?
Can I smell that one?
Yeah, smell this one. But
Oh,
I have no idea.
Holy cow,
what
that
honey-
is
Right?
seriously crystallized. Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, this might be hard
That's
to
a
even
sign of a
get
good
out.
type of honey.
Wait,
That is
that's the sign
true.
of a good type of honey?
Yes.
Yeah, crystallization is a sign of high quality honey.
It usually
kidding.
means that it's
Yeah.
completely pure.
Store bought honey takes way
Yep.
longer to
This
crystallize.
is nothing but honey in this. So yeah, store-bought honey is often, and well, all of it is store-bought, remember, but
well, yeah,
but like lower quality store-bought honeys
leading
are often
brand.
cut with like syrups and sugars and
So what about that one? What else is in that honey?
it look I would doubt that
Raw and
there was-
unfiltered honey from the remote and pristine forests of Chilean Patagonia.
So it's
Getting
still
to-
just honey, but there are also different honeys
Oh.
crystallize less. He found out. You were telling me, right? He was
Yeah.
like, telling me about the nucleization of the crystals and how they form around fragments of people, and I was like, "What?"
Oh.
It was very impressive. It turns out you can kind of get this going if you stir it a little, bud.
Okay.
So if you prefer the smell of this one,
I'm just going to give this really exotic one a shot.
Can
okay.
you see what he's doing here?
This might end up using the whole container. I'm going to try and go
That's
light.
fine.
I'm going to try and go light. So
Okay,
if
show
you
me.
watch, you may notice that where the honey pools, it will start sinking underneath the peanut butter.
Okay, we don't want that.
He
We don't, but it's unavoidable.
He doesn't prefer it that way. Is it all right if I do a little
Oh,
over here?
do
Okay.
as much as you want.
Do a little bloop and then see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, he is methodical about how he does his peanut butter and honey.
Well,
He's also very particular about the spoon. For years and years, I would put a spoon in front of him and he would promptly
Okay.
get up, go to the kitchen, drop the spoon I gave him in the sink, and get himself a different one.
oh, that's
So you see those
that's
little.
Alfie. He has a certain size spoon he likes, and if I give him a different size, it's absolutely not. He goes to get the right size, the right spoon. It's very particular.
Okay. You see the blobs forming in the largest pool
Yeah.
and how they're expanding?
Yeah.
That's the honey, which I think in this case is heavier than the peanut butter, slowly sinking down and forcing the peanut butter up. And eventually, all you'll be able to see will be like tiny little pinpricks of honey, and it will all be under the peanut butter. So I'm going to make sure to eat that before that happens.
Okay, so you want to eat that before that happens. So so we're doing, we're mixing it up. We're doing the Trader Joe's peanut butter with the Air One
Mm.
honey.
Mm.
Yes? No? What's the verdict? Oh my God.
Wow, I used too much peanut butter.
Too much peanut butter.
Are you happy?
Yes, I'm just kind of stunned. That's a very strong honey, but it's good. It's very good.
Strong honey.
Mhm.
Too strong, perhaps.
I'm glad I used a small amount because it's just right.
Alfie, you want to try some peanut butter? You know what Alfie's obsessed
What was that?
with?
No.
Alfie loves almond butter.
Almond butter.
Really?
Loves
Really?
it. Will eat that all
Wow.
day long. He likes it on toast. He likes almond butter on toast. Alfie, you want to try some peanut butter? But if it like looks different, you know, or like that's not familiar, so it's absolutely not.
Was this not my water? I'm sorry, I just grabbed
That's
it.
your water. That's your water.
Okay.
You're all
Okay,
good.
that is a really strong honey.
Yeah.
Now I don't actually tend to eat honey ever, but I wanted to try the combo
All right.
because I know you love it. But that tastes like a very strong honey,
It is very strong.
right? Do you ever have peanut butter with chocolate in it, or no?
Nope, never tried that.
Now
I've tried mixing the peanut butter and the honey together,
You've had
which
like
is
a
nice.
Reese's Pieces before,
But
right?
see,
Yeah.
this is like 80% organic peanuts and 20% organic Belgian dark chocolate. Let me see if it's high in sugar,
I'd be very interested if you liked that.
Really?
including 1 gram of added sugar.
Would be pretty funny if
So,
we
It's
managed
okay
to
to try that.
turn something I already eat as a dessert, more or less,
my
into
You
even
wanna
more of
try
a
it?
dessert. Sure. I'll give it a
Okay.
try. Give it a good scoop.
let's give it a little scoop.
I'm not sure how to do this without either dropping the peanut butter
Oh my goodness.
into the
This is very
pre-existing bowl, or are you all right?
Yeah, I'm making a mess over here like a toddler.
Okay, is there any way I can get this off the spoon and into my mouth without contaminating the
No,
spoon?
just don't. Well, you know, you can. It's okay to eat off the spoon, but don't put it back.
Oh,
into
you know
the
what we'll
jar.
do? We'll use the knife after that to put in there,
Oh, okay.
right?
Okay.
Perfect.
Now you can try it. What?
It is not a happy face.
Oh dear.
You don't like it? Now I have to try it. I'm a big fan of the Trader Joe's peanut butter. How funny.
It's nice.
I like it better than the $40
See,
one.
guys, we like Trader Joe's better than Air One. Okay, Air One. Okay, but that chocolate peanut butter, I think that's nice
I have to try it.
because it's not too sweet. You know, like
Really?
at least
I'm
these,
just-
you're like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm just not gonna
sugar.
rub my
This
opinion
feels
on that.
like you don't like it.
Not a fan.
Mm-mm. Mm.
He's like,
Glad you liked it, and thank you for the honor of food.
But you gotta try the $40 peanut butter though.
Mm.
You have to try.
The-
Toren,
The 40.
I spent $40 goddamn dollars on that peanut butter. You're eating it. That's in the little bowl. Oh wait. You want to play it?
Sure. Is it very
I
significant?
just realized I'm like chewing into the microphone. I'm
Oh.
so sorry.
It's ASMR.
Oh yeah.
ASMR.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Peanut butter
I
edition.
gotta-
People
I gotta
love this.
Tap the peanut butter
Look.
with my fingernails.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually really nice. I have more bread too if you want. I love this bread too. It's from the local bakery and it's like,
Oh, honey,
so there's some bread that's just
do you want to use a spoon?
what?
He's licking it like a lizard.
Lick it up. This is a judgment-free zone.
True.
Alfie licks plates.
No, he used to do that.
And I'm
all
like,
the
yeah,
time.
you're eating.
This must be the messiest podcast you've had in a while.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Mm.
Peanut butter cup.
All right.
Okay, so review.
Yeah, review.
Of the $40 peanut butter, we need to know.
Did you try
I
it?
feel like I just bit into a tin of one of those hippie salves you get at co-ops.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They didn't like it.
Nope. It's
Wow.
That's
it tastes
hilarious.
medicinal.
Wow.
It tastes medicinal. Wait.
The peanut butter did? I'm
Yeah.
so surprised.
Now, did you try this one?
I did. I didn't notice anything, but I did put honey on it, so maybe.
But you like the
Or like this one better.
This one
So as far as peanut butter goes, I'll
Now I
apparently
feel like I need to try this plain. If you said it tastes medicinal, here.
I'll connoisseur the heck out of honey, but apparently when it comes to peanut butter, I'll stick to my freaking
fresh ground.
Texan hippie ass fresh ground peanut
Yeah.
butter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Right? It's not great.
It's not. It's very strange.
Guys, I think I need to return this peanut butter.
I'm almost
Did
surprised.
you keep the receipt?
Yeah, I've got the receipt.
Really?
Yeah, that really isn't good.
Should I try and return it?
Yeah.
How in the world?
Can you return something because it's disgusting?
How in the world could peanut butter
Just
be
water
this
it down.
bad?
They won't notice.
They're like, why are you returning this? Because it's disgusting
Because it's nasty.
and disgustingly priced.
This is nasty.
That's why.
You charge me $40 and it's nasty.
Yeah.
That's not good. That is not
good. No, that's Trader Joe's wine.
I'm like having.
That's $5.
I'm having more.
Yeah, get into that.
$5
right.
peanut butter.
That's right.
Try to.
No, I do like the chocolate one. I like the chocolate one, but I think I
Yeah,
just
this
like
is quite nice
chocolate.
indeed.
So, of course, I'm gonna like the chocolate one.
All right. This has all been fantastically fun.
Okay, not to get heavy. How do you feel about ABA therapy?
Tricky subject.
Tricky.
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 So, we initially had heard so many bad things, and it was recommended early on for him, and his dad and I were not interested in that. We wanted to try to handle things on our own, and I'm glad we did because he's come a long way without that. But we've also heard from a lot of families for whom it was really beneficial and for whom it was really necessary. And so we realized we needed to check ourselves and, not apply a blanket idea to something that, we don't necessarily,
It
right?
can work for some people. It seems to be effective usually only in very, what's the terminology? What's the correct terminology?
Extreme cases or super high needs or
Yes. The very most intense cases of autism.
And in his case, initially, it was like that. I mean, that's why
Yeah.
it was being recommended to us. There
But
was a lot of really intense
it's sort
stuff
of
happening.
improved.
From 2 on up.
Okay.
I mean, we had a lot of really intense potty training problems, really, really intense. At 5, he still was, just getting the hang of it and having a lot of strange sensory issues around it. So, it was recommended to us at that time.
Bowels.
He couldn't handle the sensation at all.
Sure.
And we actually got called to school once because the teacher thought he had spit on a child. He had not spit on a child. The child farted in front of him, and he was aware of the particles are bits. Smell are actually particles. It's actually stuff getting in your nose. So he started to freak out because the child's fart particles were getting into his nose. So he started spitting frantically all over, and
To get the particles
and
out.
the kid was like, "Hey, spit on me!" So that and I had to explain to the teacher that it's actually something that was happening at home constantly. We were having major bathroom problems, and when we would try to get him to go, he would just start spitting all over the bathroom because of the smell. And he had a really, really hard time with withholding. Do you know what that is?
No.
Just not being able to handle the sensation of it coming out of his body. So
Okay.
he just wouldn't
I see,
until
I
it
see.
became insanely impacted, and we would need
see.
to, get medical intervention. So
I see.
It's quite unpleasant.
Yeah.
so there were a lot of issues around that and the things
I
that
see.
go with that
Yeah.
that are very unpleasant.
And did ABA help with that, or you didn't ever do it, but other families have said it's helpful with those kind of more extreme cases?
Yes, we chose not
Yes.
to.
Yeah.
We did consider it. We looked into it. We went to the facilities and met with the people, and he just did so poorly. Even just going in and meeting with these people, he would freak out so much. His dad and I just didn't want to put him through that, and then that's controversial, as I know a lot of people would say. Maybe that would have been better for him, but we were just really uncomfortable with it. And it could have been the particular facility also.
Yeah, exactly. It's like where ABA came from.
Mhm.
It was, kind of dark what it used to be. At one point in I think it was 70s or 80s, they were using electric shock
Yeah.
on kids who weren't complying.
Autistic people were basically systematically tortured, sometimes to insanity or death, until not very long ago.
Yeah, it's pretty horrible.
It's horrific.
It
yeah.
really
It
is.
still happens in a few places.
If you.
Yeah. We've seen some awful stuff. So
Yeah, I had a experience too with that where when Alfie was diagnosed, it was, oh, he needs 40 hours a week of ABA. I said, excuse me, 40 hours a week. And that is what they're pushing on
Wow.
families. And a lot of parents feel like if I don't do this, I'm failing my child.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm living proof that that's not universally true.
thank you, because that's why your story is so important. I also love your non-judgmental approach. Like, it's evolved a lot. You can talk, because sometimes ABA is the only therapy that's covered. Parents can't afford any other sort of therapy. So with that, I think it's important to, really work closely with the therapist and make sure they're not like, I'm so against using food as a tool. So it's like,
Yeah.
Do this thing and then I'll give you your favorite food. But if you don't do this thing, I won't type thing. That it's like dog training.
Yeah.
And that can create a lot of food issues in kids.
Yeah.
But I remember I had an ABA therapist come to the house before I knew much about it, because I was so heavily advised by everyone that he needed 40 hours a week or he was doomed. And this is what I was told. And then I would see him having these epic meltdowns, and I would go to like hold him. He would try and like come to hold me, and they would say, no, you don't look at him. You don't talk to him. You ignore him. They say they said, in order to extinguish the behavior, you have to ignore him entirely. And my mom and I sat there looking at each other, and we were like holding back tears, and he's screaming and so uncomfortable. He runs out the front door, and my mom said, you know what? Fuck you. She walks out the front door, takes him, and I'm like shaking, and she holds him. He's 2 years old. He's having a meltdown. He needs love. And they're taught to ignore that behavior entirely, to extinguish the behavior.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't.
How is that not going to traumatize?
It definitely doesn't work either, because that's what they were doing in school early on with him. Was he would have these meltdowns and they would just ignore him, and I would come to pick him up, and he's just in a puddle on the floor still screaming, and it's been hours.
Oh, no,
and then
no.
by the way, I just scoop him up, and it takes literally like less than 5 minutes for me to get him back down to normal. And I'm like, what? And I understand that teachers don't have the time to do that. They don't have the resources. I get it. But it was always so incredibly frustrating to me, because I was like, you would rather have him like screaming for 2 hours than,
It's like how they're taught to deal with it. But I just go, all right, imagine if you're an adult and you're screaming and crying, and the people you love most are just ignoring you. How hurt would you feel? If I'm crying and screaming and my mom just ignores me and my partner ignores me, I'd be like, why aren't you checking in on me? I'm clearly going in distress. Yeah. And so why do we hold higher standards to 3-year-olds?
Yeah, I've never understood that either.
Right? Yeah. I don't know. But that being said, it's a lot of people's only option. So it's like.
Yeah. And I try to be understanding of that. We initially didn't think of that, because he did initially, I think early on in social media, say a couple of things against ABA. And then some parents reached out to him, and they were like, look, like this is our only option. We have a child with much higher needs. And, there's physical altercations. The parents can even be in danger sometimes when the kids when they get bigger and they get physical. So there are times when it can be necessary. And, we just try to be understanding of everybody's individual experience, and to try to, realize that we don't know everything.
That's right. Yeah.
What works for one person might not work for another.
Or safety too, if they're eloping.
Exactly.
One time I had a triple lock on my doors, because Alfie went through this phase when he was about 3 or 4, where he just would wake up at 3 a.m. He'd be like, I think I need to go see what's going on down the block. Like, he just like would wake up in the morning and he's like, I'm curious.
Yeah.
Like the sense of danger wasn't really quite there. So one morning he woke up at like 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. or something really early, and I was still sleeping. And he got out, he figures out all the locks, and, he'd grab the chairs, he'd climb up the chairs, figure them all out. And, he's watching everyone. You have to, if you're trying to like make something secure, he watches exactly how you do something, and then he knows how to do it. And so he figured out how to get out. I get a call from my neighbor. She goes, Laura, my next door neighbor, she goes, Laura, I have security footage of your son butt naked in my backyard playing with my barbecue at 4 a.m. And I was like, can you send me the footage? But I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm so sorry. And she was like, it's okay. But like, I had to secure my place more. I got these crazy alarms. So if any window or door ever open, you just heard, wow, wow, wow. So for about 2 weeks straight, every night you'd hear, wow, 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 at 3 a.m. and you just see Alfie caught red-handed. He's like this, and I'd come out, I said, Alfie, and he scurries back to bed. And I thought,
subject escaping.
exactly. She goes, Laura, I have security footage of him butt naked playing with my barbecue at 4 a.m. And you know what?
Wow.
He climbed, hopped that fence, okay, that tall fence, hopped the fence, played with the barbecue naked, okay, finishes playing, hops back in, goes back to bed. Because I don't get the call until the next day of the footage of him.
You're like, oh my God. Wow.
And so at that point I was like, okay, do I need one of the...
Smart kid.
Very smart.
Very
smart.
And then after about a few weeks at least of woo, 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 every night, he learned and he stopped and he doesn't do it. And now we co-sleep. So I've got Poppy on my left and Alfie on my right. And we just sleep for 12 hours a night. And it's the best. It's the best. Yeah.
Yeah, he went through a phase with that too. He would also, I don't know if yours does this, but like he had no like danger awareness and would like run into a body of water. We were like, one time at our friend's house, I'm still really grateful that the husband saved you, because I froze for that half instant of just stunned. And he just runs past us directly into the pool, just runs headlong into the pool. We were like, why? And thankfully that, the dad just reached down and scooped him right out and turned him upside down. But it was just stuff like that all the time. We would take him to the river and he would just run right into the river. We were like,
Water.
He was a big fan of running towards water.
Do you love water?
Yeah.
Alfie is obsessed. I mean, he loves it. He wants to take like 5 baths a day and like pool and water and just shower and water. It's, fun for him. Okay. Another question. Are there any unexpected benefits of being autistic?
Do you want to hear the downsides?
Yeah.
There's so many.
Tell me.
Okay, let's see when I run out of fingers. Complete inability to relate to people your own age, whatever age that may be, unless they're also neurodivergent. Complete inability to feed yourself or take care of your own basic hygiene in any context. Complete inability to handle paperwork of any kind due to sheer stress. Being constantly bullied and misunderstood by other people, because reasons. Toss me another one.
There's so many more. For me, it's constant anxiety and stress and not imposter syndrome, like not being able to accept that I am okay or good at anything, and constantly being subtly worried that I'm like 3 raccoons in a trench coat.
All right, and I'm going to pick that back up again. If that's
go
all right.
ahead.
Risking death every time you drive because of how sheerly distractible you are. Basically being unable to maintain a friendship because a lot of autistic and ADHD people, especially ADHD, have an out of sight, out of mind mindset.
Where you forget the person exists.
Yeah,
so
if you're not in direct physical contact with them.
Forget to text, and then people get upset.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the eye for an eye, vengeance and justice with burning fury aspect.
Or black and white thinking of like,
we take morality and justice and punishment a little too far sometimes.
He gets very upset when things aren't fair or right.
Starving to death, that's a big one. I have risked hypothermia a lot from not wearing shoes.
Yes. Or like frostbite, losing toes. Yeah.
Okay, now I'm out of fingers, trying to think of more.
And for me, the masking.
But I can dance.
It's just the masking and not having done so for so long that I don't even know who I really am. Like, I'm not sure. Like, it's, so much masking.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Oh, you're very sweet.
Now, Toren, do you feel like you mask ever?
Yes.
Okay, and how so and why?
I don't have that much energy for social interactions, and it's very difficult for me to participate in group activities like D&D. So whenever I'm with my D&D group, for example, I kind of, well, I mask. I put on a persona. I have, and I have different aspects and different personas that I sort of cobble together on the spot most of the time, but there's traits that are consistent throughout them that have kind of sunk into my actual personality.
Like you don't really stim as much in like in your group and stuff. You do that more.
I
at
try
home.
not to, yeah.
Like at home, he stims hours and hours a day. I'm sure you've probably seen the videos of him going back and forth and the hopping and skipping. And he doesn't really do that at his friend's house, right?
Like, yeah, and the persona I put on, and I hope this is how I'm being perceived by my friends. If any of you are watching this, sorry if this is not the way it comes across. You have permission to call me out. I usually try to be the funny guy or the entertainer. I think I do a pretty good job there. I'm not sure how anyone else feels.
I relate to that. When you were a child and would stim, what was your thought process? I mean,
Thing feel good. I've tried before. I can't really explain why stimming or echolalia feels good. It just does. It's not even a conscious choice.
Yeah, I can tell you that if he doesn't, or when he doesn't, or when he hasn't been able to for a while, he's very
I start to go
stressed.
insane.
He's very unhappy, and he's very much more likely to have a meltdown.
that's healthy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a special needs teacher. What would you have wanted your teachers to know? Honestly, both of you.
That's actually an interesting question. Not that the others weren't interesting.
No offense to the other question askers. Your questions just weren't as good.
It's interesting because I can't think of an answer very quickly.
Well, I'll start and then you can chime in. And first of all, I think it's important to say that we
do not blame the teachers at all for anything that
any of the teachers. We've even had,
frankly,
I think
the
one
school
of them,
system isn't equipped to handle.
one of them reached out at one point and was
anything.
like, I'm so sorry, I didn't know, Toren. And we're not upset at them, and we don't blame them. They were not equipped to deal, with a child with his needs, and they have to deal with the rest of the class. They have to deal with the other kids, and I understand that it can be very disruptive. So, for his teachers, I wish that they would have understood, that he didn't mean to be disruptive, that he didn't mean to be upsetting, that he.
Okay, yeah, I see where you're going. That's actually a very good point. It's not intentional. It's not intentional disruption. It's not intentional rudeness. It's just part of the condition. It's part of who they are. They don't mean any harm, and autistic kids and autistic people, from what I've seen, can be like some of the most loving, caring, genuinely humane people there are. Yeah. But it's difficult for people to see that.
And there's so many sensory issues, like, something that you don't notice, that doesn't bother them, like the humming in the room. I can hear the humming in the room and the lights and the stuff like that. And, when he was little, that stuff, could get under his skin and like basically drive him insane, So there's all these different sensory things, Like I think it would be helpful for teachers if they knew, like, to, maybe offer headphones or offer a quiet space or offer just a different style for kids that are having difficulties with sensory things.
Especially when kids can't express it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's really tough. So offer more accommodation.
More accommodations. Yeah, for sure.
How do I support my PDA child when he throws things in a meltdown?
Oof, okay. Do they state the age?
No.
Okay. Violent meltdowns. Okay.
Toren had violent meltdowns
in the beginning.
You said what?
In the beginning.
In the beginning.
In the beginning.
So
When did they
I
stop?
mean, this
the
is
violence?
well,
Luckily, before I got big enough for it to be a massive
we were
problem.
very concerned about that. So, I mean, I think his dad was really helpful with this. He was very, very just water off a duck's back. He was just very relaxed and chill with it. For a while, we were instructed to do something called the hug hold, which is if, he starts to hit and throw things, that you're supposed to very gently, preferably from behind, just get behind him and wrap him up and sit down, and they will flail and scream and say, let me go, you're hurting me, stuff like that. And you just calmly, repeat the same thing over and over and rock and say, I'm holding you very gently to keep you from hurting me or yourself until you can calm down. And his dad was really good at that because obviously, I would get whacked and hurt a lot more. And his dad was just like, I got it. I'm just going to hold him and rock. And so that was a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very, very hard question. And we always feel very frustrated when we're trying to help people with this because it is incredibly difficult when your kid is losing it. And especially if they're being physical and, when they're autistic or neurodivergent, and it can be so much more extreme than what you may have experienced with other kids. So, and for specifically to speak to the PDA part, I would say that the way you talk to PDA kids is tremendous.
Okay.
And that depends on how, verbal or able to take instruction they are. In Toren's case, at first he wasn't. And then in later years, he started becoming more, verbal and able to take things in. So we, on me in particular, because I studied this a lot, and his dad just started following my lead. But I had to learn not to speak in demand terms, like, saying, this needs to get done, or I need you to do this, or you have to do this, or it's time to do this. I started changing the way I said things to be more about myself.
Oh, give me an example.
And my need. So like, instead of saying, Toren, you need to do the dishes, I would say, hey, bud, it's really stressing me out that the dishes aren't done. And I have so much other stuff to do. And I'm getting really like worked up and upset. If you would be willing, could you maybe do the dishes for me to help me out? That would really help my system out a lot. And that would immediately kick in the like helper in him.
And now I'm a lot better at it, and you can just kind of normally.
Now I don't even have to.
Yeah, you can just normally ask me to do the dishes.
Yeah, after doing that for years, it'll settle in and then it doesn't be. Stops being an issue. But I had to change the way I phrased everything.
Oh my God, this is like blowing my mind. I'm sorry, in a good way. Is PDA autism specific, or is it also?
Oh no, ADHD.
Okay, because my daughter is literally that. And it's like, if I tell her to do anything, it's absolute defiance. But if I change the way I say it, she does it.
And it's really important to know with PDA what they're learning. And I know it's important to mention too, it's not like specifically in the DSM yet, but his doctors are using it, other doctors are using it, and it's becoming very much accepted in America.
It's one of those conditions, it's one of those conditions where I think technically it can exist separate from any other form of neurodivergence, but the cases of it existing on its own are extremely rare. It almost always is like a subcondition of autism or ADHD.
Okay.
Yes. So it's important for parents to note that this is not like traditional defiance. This is not brattiness in the way that you normally think it is.
Say it louder.
Oh yeah, that this is it's like a fight or flight response in their brain. They're not even aware of it.
It's instinctual.
When I've talked to him, he doesn't even understand why he's doing it or where it's coming from. He's not trying to be a jerk. It's literally their brains just shut off. Oh, this is important to note also. He's mentioned that his own brain can do it to him. Like
my subconscious.
Yeah, if he's like, I have to write this, all of a sudden he can't write.
Yeah. So it like locks off areas from me.
So he's had to learn to be gentle with himself in the way he tries to get things done. And
I've
like,
become very good at gaslighting myself.
like some people will be like, you have to push yourself. And he's like, don't tell me that, because I know I can't push myself. That doesn't work for me. It immediately shuts him down.
Should we talk about that one circumstance?
Probably,
No.
yeah. I mean, you can if you want, but it ends up, you got really worked up last time. So
It's a frustrating event. And I don't
why
like
don't you
talking about it.
let me do it and make
Okay.
it quick that way, because that way you don't get super worked up.
Do you
about
remember
it.
the details?
Yeah, I'll make it
Okay.
very quick and brief this time. So
Oh.
an adult that he cares very deeply for, who is a big part of his life, was, telling him that you need to push yourself. You need to push through it. You need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And he tried to say, like, that's not how it works for me. And the person was like, I know what I'm talking about. I'm an adult. I've had these experiences. And he was like, if I do that, I'll end up in burnout. And the person was like, I've experienced burnout. I quit my job.
This is
I
a
know.
neurotypical, by the way.
Yeah. And Toren was like, you've experienced autistic burnout? Like, that's not the same thing.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're talking about. And it ended up being a very upsetting experience for him. But he did really well. He held his own, and he's learning to advocate for himself. And he didn't back down, which I was very proud of him for. But it still gets
Just
him a bit
held
worked
my
up to
stance
talk
until the
about.
guy backed off. So
Yeah.
hey, I technically won that.
Wow.
And he was correct. And it's hard sometimes for adults to hear a young person correcting them and being right. I mean, that's very hard for them. So I obviously can relate to that. It's happened to me before too. So,
Sure.
and he did a good job. He didn't have a meltdown, and he didn't, be exceedingly rude or anything like that. So I think
I
he
actually
did
managed to stay pretty calm throughout the entire argument. The
he
only
did
time I
very
got a
good.
little pissy was when I said you've experienced autistic burnout.
good. Yeah.
It's just
Which is when the
But
adult
like, what did he say to
realized.
that?
Isn't that when he was like, oh,
They kind of
Right.
just started backing off without actually properly ending the conversation, which
I
was
see.
annoying. But I mean, I didn't want to perpetuate the argument, so I just went back to talking with the person I was originally talking with.
That's smart. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, last question from the fans. As a mom of 2 boys with ASD, what's one thing I can do to boost their confidence?
Let them follow their own interests, encourage their creativity in whatever it is they're doing. For me, the self-led learning was critical. I've started writing a book. I'm sure you've heard me not so subtly mentioning that like 3 other times.
I love that.
Um,
What's the book?
It's a fantasy. I think would probably be classed as YA, which to most book people out there probably just triggered some severe flinch responses, but I think I'm doing all right.
It's a fantasy novel with some neurodivergent coded characters, and it's astonishing. It's everybody who's read it. We've like handed it around to people to read how much he's got, and they'll read it and then be like, when they finish, they're like, "Where? I need more. Where's the like?" They want more, which is a really good sign. So I'm very proud of it and very excited.
Awesome.
Yeah, very excited.
Awesome.
And I would also say that to make sure that you remind your kids that this is, a difference. Yes, it is a disability, but it's also just a different way of looking at the world, and that their brains are capable of some incredibly amazing, extraordinary things, and that they just might need a little more time to get there and to learn to advocate for themselves, to get that time, to teach them to tell people. I've been working really hard on that with him, and it's really helping teach him to tell people. Like when we've been learning to grocery shop, and I've, reminding him that if people are getting impatient and pissy because things are taking him a long time and he's having difficulties, to just very calmly tell him, hi, I'm autistic, and sometimes things take me a little longer, but I will get there. Teach them to advocate for themselves and remind them that they are capable of great things. And also it's good to you can remind your kids that some of the greatest minds of our time have been neurodivergent. Some of the greatest discoveries in our world, inventions, have been made and created by neurodivergent people. They're capable of great things.
No, that's beautiful.
And one other thing,
Mhm.
simply, they don't have to fit in. No one has to fit into this society that was built hundreds of years ago by neurotypicals.
Agreed.
Well, this has been such an incredible conversation.
Thanks for allowing us to have it.
I loved it and I learned so much, and I'm sure so many people will have learned so much.
And now you've got a half-eaten bowl of peanut butter that I'm not going to finish.
Okay, before we go, is there anything you'd like to leave our listeners with? Something that you wish people knew more about autism, or a message that you would like to share?
Gosh, I feel like that last thing I said was kind of spot on.
Yeah.
I would reiterate that.
Yes.
That, autistic and ADHD people both might need more time. And if you could, find it in your hearts to give them that, I think you might be amazed at what they can achieve.
Just
And,
know who you are and that you don't have to fit in, which I already just said.
yeah, but that's worth repeating.
It is worth repeating.
I know there's as soon as we leave, there's going to be like 20 things I wish
I know,
I
Well,
said.
then you guys will just have to come back
That sounds great. We would
Tempting
love
offer.
that.
with more $40 honey
$19 strawberry.
and $19 strawberry.
Yes.
I'm going to find a $30 blueberry for next time.
No.
Yeah, I'm going to find it.
I
Okay,
bet
where
you
can
will.
people find you?
The foothills of the Sierras.
Oh, do you
Very
mean
cold.
Toren, not to your house. Don't take it literally.
Please.
Don't say your address.
He does take things very
He's like, you can
literally.
find me at 6327 Oakwood Avenue. I'm on the second floor, third bedroom to the left. No.
The window's not locked.
He's on Instagram under Toren Wolf. He's on YouTube, also Toren Wolf.
And I'm on TikTok as Jonathan. I don't know.
Toren Wolf. TikTok has a lot of imposters, so make sure you find the right one. It's the
Mm.
one with a lot of followers. So, and
Yeah.
and then I guess he's on Facebook also. And we've tried to, we're trying to get some of the other ones like Blue Sky,
Oh
and
my gosh.
but it's hard. We're having a hard time on those. So
Yeah, it's never ending. Well,
Yeah.
thank you guys again for being here.
thank you. You're amazing. It was
Thanks for
really
giving
great
us
to
this
meet you. You're an amazing mom, and your kids are gorgeous.
Oh, I'm so glad you got to hang out with them a bit.
Me too.
Yeah.
Alfie is wonderful.
Do
Truly.
you see similarities?
Big time.
I
Yes,
see
do.
similarities, and I'm not even consciously aware of what I was like back then.
Really?
Yeah.
What's that like?
I apologize for giving you such a hard time, but also, wow, Alfie's adorable.
Oh, you're a sweetheart. You never need to be sorry. You never need to be sorry. It's been a joy and a privilege to be your mom, and I wouldn't take back any of it.
Thank you.
Mm.
So, yeah, you're fantastic. Alfie's fantastic. Poppy's fantastic. Patrick's fantastic.
I've been great. I'll be.
Thank you guys so much.
Patrick.
All right, should we shoot a dumb sketch?
Sure.
Okay.
Why not?